The AI world is moving so fast it's almost impossible to keep up.
It really is.
Today we're diving into Elon Musk's XAI and their new Grok-3 model.
Sounds good.
We'll be looking at a Bloomberg article and an analysis from Michael Automates, who's a YouTube algo trading expert.
Okay.
We want to see how this Grok-3 stacks up to the competition and what it could mean for AI's future, especially for things like stock trading.
It's definitely interesting timing with this rivalry between Musk and OpenAI heating up even more.
Yeah, you've got Musk's attempt to buy OpenAI failing, then lawsuits, and now XAI launches Grok-3,
Right.
claiming it's better than OpenAI's GPT-4, Google's Gemini, DeepSeek's V3, and even Anthropic's Claude in math, science, and coding.
Those are some serious claims.
They are.
Makes you wonder if it's all about competition or if there really are that many big leaps happening right now. We'll have to see how it performs in independent evaluations.
True. And the price difference is pretty big, too.
Oh, yeah.
Grok-3 is only $22 a month for people with X Premium Plus Coty.
Wow.
OpenAI's GPT-4 Full Access is $200 a month.
Oh, wow.
So that could really change things if more people have access to this tech because of the price.
Yeah, that accessibility could be a game changer.
Yeah.
But it does make you think about the resources XAI is using for development. Can they keep that low price if they want to really compete with these companies pulling in billions of dollars?
That's a great point. Like OpenAI's possible $40 billion raise. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like an arms race to see who can get the most dominance in AI.
It really is.
But it's not all about the money either. We have to think about what this means for access and innovation.
Right.
OpenAI and XAI are both U.S. companies, but you see Chinese companies like DeepSeek coming out with open source models like their R1 that are built for a lot less money.
Yeah.
That could totally change who leads AI development.
That's a really good point. It's not just two players anymore. So how is Grok-3 actually doing? What are people saying about it?
Well, so far the feedback's been mostly positive. Grok-3 is climbing the ranks on that crowdsource AI leaderboard chatbot arena.
Oh, interesting.
Seems like people like using it. Daria Unatmas, who researches cancer immunotherapy, said it feels more up-to-date and has more of a voice than other chatbots.
So it's not just about benchmarks, but also how it feels to actually use it.
Exactly. But even Unatmas said XAI's deep search research tool isn't as good as what OpenAI has. So they've definitely got some catching up to do.
Interesting. Now let's look at how this connects to algo trading, since I know that's something you follow. Michael Automates tested Grok-3 pretty hard. He used it to make trading strategies in TradingView with PineScript.
I'm really curious how he did that. Trading strategies can be so complex, it's a perfect real-world test.
Yeah, he made 3 levels of difficulty.
Okay.
First was just converting an indicator to a strategy, then adding an indicator to a strategy that already exists.
Okay.
And the hardest one was making a whole strategy from scratch with barely any information.
That's smart, testing how it handles different levels of complexity.
Exactly. And for the first 2, easy and medium, Grok-3 did about the same as ChatGPT and DeepSeek. All of them made money.
So for the basic tasks, they're all pretty similar.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets interesting. On the hard tasks, Grok-3 managed to avoid coding errors.
Okay.
But the strategies it made didn't make as much money as ChatGPT's, and it was more expensive to use.
So in trading, cost matters a lot. You could have decent strategies, but if they're not profitable enough after the cost, what's the point?
Exactly. You really have to look past the hype and see how these models perform in the real world.
I agree. It seems like Grok-3 has potential, but isn't quite there yet, especially when you look at the cost.
Yeah, that cost is a big deal, especially with algo trading.
Oh, totally. In trading, every dollar counts. But
Right.
even with that, it's clear AI is really changing finance. Grok-3 is just one part of that.
It really is spreading fast,
Yeah.
changing how we look at data, manage risk, even how we trade.
Exactly. Think about it. AI can process huge amounts of data, see patterns we might miss, and make trades instantly.
It's like having a super analyst working 24/7.
Right.
But like you said, these AI models aren't perfect.
Yeah.
They can make mistakes, especially if the data they're trained on isn't good.
Exactly. We can't just let AI make all our financial decisions. It's a tool. We need to use it carefully and know its limits.
We have to be in control, using AI to make our own knowledge better, not replace it completely.
That reminds me of something Andrej Karpathy said, one of the OpenAI founders, about Grok-3.
Okay.
He said it sometimes makes up facts and isn't as good as OpenAI's models in some areas.
That's a little worrying if you're relying on it for big decisions. It shows how important testing and verifying are.
For sure. Ethan Mollick, a professor at Wharton, said something similar.
But yeah.
He said it's tough to really judge Grok-3 until we have API access to do better testing.
So we're still waiting to see what it can really do.
Yeah.
But even so, it's creating a lot of buzz, especially since it could have access to all that data from Twitter.
Yeah, that's a ton of info.
Yeah.
Could be really useful for sentiment analysis and predicting trends, especially in crypto, which is so tied to social media.
Imagine being able to look at millions of tweets instantly to see how people feel about a certain crypto.
That could give traders a real edge.
Yeah.
But there are risks, too.
Like what?
Well, crypto is super volatile and easily influenced by hype and misinformation. If Grok-3 learns from data with a lot of noise or manipulation, its predictions could be totally off.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
All that data can be amazing, but only if the model can filter out the junk and find real signals.
Right. And we can't forget about the ethical stuff either. As these AI models get more powerful, we need to make sure they're not used for bad stuff, like manipulating the market or spreading false info.
Like any powerful technology, it can be misused.
Exactly. And that brings up another point. We've talked a lot about XAI and OpenAI, but what about the rest of the world?
Yeah, it's not just a U.S. thing.
DeepSeek, that Chinese company, is a good example.
Right.
Their open source model, R1, is already close to the U.S. models in performance, but way cheaper.
That's huge. Challenges the idea that the U.S. will automatically be the AI leader.
Totally. And it raises questions about how governments will deal with AI. Will they work together or just focus on national interests?
Those are big questions. And it's not just governments that need to be involved. Tech companies, researchers, ethicists, everyone needs to help shape AI's future.
It's a global issue. We need a global response.
Speaking of global, let's look at the stock market. It's usually more stable than crypto, but still complex and influenced by a ton of things.
Yeah, like economic indicators, company earnings, what's happening in the world, how investors feel.
So many things. And that's where AI could be really helpful, analyzing all that data instantly and finding opportunities we might miss.
Right. AI can go through company financials, track how people feel about the news, watch social media, even figure out the impact of big economic factors.
It's like a team of analysts working 24/7, giving you insights and advice.
But even with all that power, we can't forget about us. We make the final decisions.
We need to think critically, weigh the risks and rewards, and not blindly follow AI's advice.
Because remember, even the best AI is only as good as the data it learns from. It can't predict the future perfectly and can make mistakes.
So it's a tool. We have to learn to use it right.
That's a key takeaway. AI is changing finance fast. We have to stay informed and be able to adapt.
We need to understand how these AI models work, what their limits are, and how to use them to make better decisions.
Finding that balance between human expertise and AI.
And remember, AI's impact goes way beyond finance.
You're right. Healthcare, education, transportation, even art are being transformed.
It could really reshape our world.
And as AI keeps evolving, so will its effect on society. We're already talking about the future of work, AI ethics, and responsible development.
These are important discussions. The choices we make now will shape the future.
Yeah.
It's like we're at a crossroads with this powerful tech. It's up to us to choose the path that benefits all of humanity.
I like that. We have a responsibility to make sure AI is used for good.
Now, before we finish, I want to go back to something you mentioned about DeepSeek's open source model.
Uh-huh.
It's a great example of how AI is becoming more available.
Definitely. Open source platforms like that are making it easier for everyone, even individuals and startups, to try out and use powerful AI.
It's like AI for everyone.
And that could lead to a burst of new ideas and creativity as we see more ways to develop AI.
But with that comes a need for caution and ethics.
We have to be aware of the risks, like fake news and biased algorithms.
It's a balancing act, encouraging innovation while protecting against harm.
And everyone needs to be part of that conversation. Developers, policymakers, educators, everyone.
We have to work together to build a future where AI is used ethically and benefits everyone.
That's what matters. AI is powerful. We need to use it wisely.
AI is changing everything so fast.
It really is like a revolution happening right in front of us.
And it's not just finance anymore, it's everything.
Yeah, healthcare, education, how we get around, even art is changing.
It's pretty amazing when you stop and think about it. And what's really interesting is how much easier it's getting to use AI.
Oh yeah, for sure. Those open source models like DeepSeek's are putting power in the hands of people who couldn't touch this stuff before.
Like, it's leveling the playing field, but then that also means we've got to be even more careful about using it the right way.
Absolutely. Got to think about the ethics of it all and how to regulate it to make sure AI helps people, not hurts them.
It's a tough balance, encouraging those new ideas, but protecting everyone at the same time. Those are big questions for society to figure out.
Yeah, and it's not just about avoiding the bad stuff. We have to make sure everyone benefits from AI.
Exactly. Things like helping people learn new skills if their jobs change because of AI, and making sure everyone can be part of this digital future.
And this idea of explainable AI is getting more important too.
Yeah.
As these models get more complex, we need to understand how they make decisions.
Transparency is key, especially when AI is used in things that affect people's lives, like healthcare, finances, or even the legal system.
Yeah, it can't just be a black box spitting out answers. We need to know the why behind it to trust it.
That reminds me of something we talked about before about AI possibly being biased.
Right. If the data it learns from is biased, the results will be too.
We got to be super careful about what we feed these models.
It shows AI isn't neutral. We have to shape how it's built to match our values and create a fairer world.
Couldn't agree more. And while AI is amazing, we can't expect it to fix everything.
It's a tool to help us, not replace us.
Exactly. The best solutions will come from humans and AI working together, using each other's strengths.
Which means education is super important now more than ever. We got to learn how to understand and use these technologies.
Totally. It's like learning a new language. The language of AI, we need to communicate with these systems and really think about how they affect us.
This is just the beginning. This whole field of AI is constantly changing. What we know today might be old news tomorrow. Gotta stay curious, stay informed. That's the key.
That's what we try to do here on the show, keep you updated on all the AI stuff and give you some insights to help you make sense of it all.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear from you, your thoughts, questions. We're all learning together.
So as we wrap up, remember this AI future is being built right now. Let's make sure it's one we're proud of.
And don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss our next episode.
Thanks for listening, everyone.